Hey everyone, it's May 7th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with Australian mass murderer Martin Bryant, the perpetrator of the Port Arthur massacre that left 35 victims dead and was the impetus for their now famously strict gun laws. And that is him right up there. Born in Tasmania in 1967, Bryant was prone to violent outbursts, with teachers describing him as lacking empathy and displaying inappropriate emotions. He frequently disrupted class and was sent for psychiatric treatment several times. His mother later described him as an annoying and different child who even tortured animals in his youth. Being functionally illiterate, he lived off a disability pension after graduating from school, supplementing that income with odd jobs as a handyman and gardener. One state psychiatrist predicted a bleak future for Bryant, saying that he was likely schizophrenic with a tested IQ of just 66. While working, Bryant met and befriended a 54-year-old woman who was a wealthy heiress, and she invited him to live with her alongside her mother, as well as 14 dogs and 40 cats. He moved in, and she made him the sole beneficiary of her estate shortly before she was killed in a car accident in 1992, leaving Bryant with a farm and more than $500,000. Bryant was investigated for his role in the crash since he was known to have a habit of lunging at the steering wheel, which had caused 3 accidents for the woman previously. A lack of firm evidence meant the case went nowhere. His father took a leave of absence from work to help his son manage the farm he had just inherited, but died the next year under suspicious circumstances that were ruled a suicide at the time. Bryant used his newfound fortune to travel and also to amass an arsenal of weapons, including AR-10 and AR-15 rifles, shotguns, a .30 caliber gun, and a massive amount of ammunition. On April 28, 1996, Bryant put those weapons to use in Port Arthur. He awoke that morning and, after running some errands, headed to a guest home that his father had wanted to purchase before his untimely death. He shot and killed the couple who had bought it instead, then drove into Port Arthur, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that was a prison location dating back to Australia's origins as a penal colony. After enjoying a meal at the on-site cafe, he put his tray away and began his murder spree, pulling out his AR-15 and shooting indiscriminately at men, women, and children. He continued his actions in the gift shop and parking lot before moving on to the toll booth at the entrance and carjacking a vehicle. Bryant and a hostage wound up back at the guest home where he had killed his first 2 victims, and an 18-hour standoff with the police ensued, during which time he killed the woman he kidnapped. He eventually set fire to the house and attempted to escape in the confusion, but was apprehended, putting an end to the terror. All told, Bryant killed 35 victims and injured 37 others that day. After an initial not guilty plea, he changed his tune and pleaded guilty, being given 35 life sentences plus 1,652 years in prison. As a result of this massacre, Australia's government changed their gun laws, despite interference from the NRA here in the United States, who lobbied against the changes. 643,000 firearms were turned in for destruction, and Australia didn't have another mass shooting until 2019, when 4 people were killed with a shotgun in Darwin. Bryant was portrayed by Caleb Landry Jones in the 2021 film Nitram, and he remains behind bars. This is your birthday. Have a great day. And if you know someone to send the video to Martin Bryant, I say happy birthday.